We live in the age of excess, an era where more is often seen as better. But what if excess is the real cause of many of our problems? Excess food is leading to obesity and poor health. Excess information, rather than making us wise, often leaves us confused, overwhelmed, and ignorant. Excessive thinking becomes overthinking, leading to anxiety and eventually panic. Excessive investment in security can make us prisoners of our own design. Excessive indulgence in comfort results in eventual discomfort. There is a sense of dignity within each of us that does not want to be imprisoned in any way. This is a sense innate to all life in the fact that it does not want to be subservient to anything. The moment you feel someone or something has power over you, you naturally start to fight against it. We fight against any force which tries to take away our freedom. And at the heart of spirituality is freedom. Most people know mukti or liberation to be as the highest thing to attain on the spiritual path. But do we know what this translates to in our daily life? Let's use food as an example first because it's very easy to understand. If you're an adult, you can eat as much as you want. How much and what you must eat, though, should be predominantly determined by what is good for your body. So, to eat sensibly is a simple thing, right? Because you have adequate real physical indicators like your weight, strength, energy levels, etc. You need to know a little bit about food, but you don't need a PhD to have a sensible diet. But if I start saying I can eat ice cream 5 times a day because I can say that and I have the freedom to do that. But is this really freedom? Or is such an individual ruled by something else? Let's use another complementing example. Am I really free if I say I don't want to do any physical activity like exercise or yoga because I don't have to? Technology has evolved to a place that people are questioning whether they should get off their couch or not. Why get up and do anything at all when you can binge on Netflix and get food delivered to your doorstep and just shovel it in your mouth? It sounds good if you do it, say, once a weekend. Okay, I get it. But every day, if you keep making this choice every day, then slowly your freedom to choose anything other than that will start to narrow down. You will always have the freedom, please remember this, you will always have the freedom to choose, but it will get more and more difficult. And you will be left in a very tight and confined space within yourself where you will feel like you're incapable of doing anything else but to repeat your previous pattern. We all know someone who is deeply in denial about their situation. How did they get there? Everyone wants happiness and freedom without an exception. Everybody wants it. And as I explained initially, every life has a sense of freedom within that is reflected in all aspects like physical, mental, emotional, and energetic. The moment it is taken away, physically, let's say, if just your physical movement is restricted, you will not like it. The very life force within you will act up and try to break down the walls or the restrictions. Now, here's the kicker. It's easier to perceive these more obvious physical restrictions, especially if it's someone else imposing them upon you. But when it comes to more subtler aspects of us, like specific thought patterns, addictions, or any kind of compulsion, actually, it's easily missed. It takes a very sharp level of perception to realize that the trap you're in is created by your own doing. And that is the cage or the straitjacket of personality, as Sadhguru calls it. Repeatedly, without conscious discernment, you're picking the same thing, the same compulsive choice, the same neurological pathways out of habit, thinking it's your freedom. This is the issue here. We will go deeper into this. But let's discuss another kind of excess that we are all being exposed to today, which is excess information. Cram them full of non combustible data. chock them so damn full of facts they feel stuffed, but absolutely brilliant with information. Then they will feel they are thinking. They will get a sense of motion without moving. You can already see where I'm going with this. The hierarchy is data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. What most people have today is a minuscule amount of haphazardly collected data. From that, they draw their conclusion. And to compensate for this flimsy foundation, they project that they feel very strongly about it. So much so that people are willing to fight and even die for whatever they have assumed to be true. Like, for example, because of the echo chamber that is social media, people can't stop having an opinion about every single thing. I mean, if you have an opinion about something you have expertise in, you know a particular subject in depth, say politics, for example, and you have something to add to the conversation, I understand. But most people actually just want to feel very strongly about their opinion, and that is about it, without any clarity or knowledge on the subject. This is a disease of compulsive activism, I like to call it. Always a frown upon their face, and they're just disappointed and disapproving of everything around them, other than themselves, of course. This is a different topic. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video on this, or comment if you feel that your feathers have been ruffled. My point is, if the news is depressing you and every election cycle gets you hyperventilating, maybe turning the news off for some time is a good idea for you. Anyway, I don't want to veer too off topic. But my point is, if you are only consuming bits of information on the internet, you will not be in touch with reality. It will give you a false sense of knowing. Like in spirituality, for example, people read a couple of books and they think they know it all. It's like reading books on swimming and never entering the water. On land, you can be smug about it, but in practice, you drown. In fact, the overconsumption of spiritual content can actually hurt your spiritual growth. Isn't this already happening to a lot of people? You watch one video from one guru, then a podcast from another, and you're trying to intellectually make it make sense. You will be unable to in most cases. Have you seen this? Because a guru or anyone who understands anything experientially and actually knows about life in depth in a profound way, not just intellectually, is almost never consistent. Because life is not consistent. Life is never consistent to limited logic. And just because you understand a spiritual truth intellectually doesn't mean you actually embody it or that you actually understand it. The best way to approach spiritual knowledge is to implement it at any and every real life situation that you can within yourself. In this way, if you really ask me, the simplest truths are the most profound and powerful ones. Rest, if you have an intellectual curiosity, it's fine. Almost everyone does initially. But soon you must not confuse your spiritual gossip with actual existential spiritual knowing. It takes a certain sense of humility to recognize that even with all this information we have access to, we still find ourselves confused about our own life. With all the books and information on the internet, and people can't seem to agree on anything for that matter, be it religious matters, spiritual aspects, political, all of that. But inside, they don't know the basic fundamental aspects of themselves. But when it comes to intellectual knowledge and concepts, they seem to know it all. The truth is, too much information is paralyzing. We absorb and absorb, but without discerning, without knowing what we are really taking in, and all that information just becomes noise. And this noise clouds our mind and adds to the inner clutter we are already struggling with. So here, choose to absorb only what adds value, what truly serves you. Now it's time to conclude the video unless we risk excess of words. So, how do we break free from the cycle of excess? How do we avoid the endless pull of more, and more? The answer lies in one word: self-regulation. It's the conscious choice to bring balance, awareness, and clarity back into our lives. Through self regulation, we can see excess for what it truly is, a subtle but powerful way to lose our freedom. If you're not consciously wiring yourself in terms of what your actions and what your thoughts and emotions are, and even what your energies are, your wiring will inevitably be an entangled mess. And if it's fine if everything is not 100% conscious in your experience as of now, because I can't say the same about my own self. But it's important that we head in that direction at least. And this requires persistence, but the rewards are worth it. And as an individual on the spiritual path, you have to come to this realization. There are no two ways about it. The real remedy for excess is awareness, and meditation is a tool to unlock new levels of it. The idea of this is that you must eventually learn to be by yourself without any kind of entertainment whatsoever and just enjoy being yourself. That's what meditation is all about. So consider this as a sign or a reminder to get back to your meditation practice. If you do not have a spiritual or meditation practice yet, or if you have drifted away from it, do not worry. Just stay tuned. In the upcoming videos, I'll be sharing simple, accessible meditation practices that can help you reconnect with yourself and bring clarity to your daily life.